Industrial activity. Total industrial production in an economy would consist of units of cars produced, number of meters of clothes produced, number of tons of coal produced, etc. Right? In order to compare across industries and also to arrive at individual or overall growth number, one has to get them to the same base. This is done through measuring the value, that is, number of units produced per industry multiplied with price per unit per industry. There is one index that does exactly this, and that is called Index of Industrial Production, that is IIP. This is an important index and measures how different sectors are growing and how overall industry is growing. Not just the government publishes these numbers periodically. The government and industry folks use this to gauge industry trends. There are two ways to measure IIP. Measuring IIP based on industrial output per sector categories and measuring IIP based on the usage. To measure IIP based on industrial output per sector categories, following classification is referred with corresponding weightages. Total industrial output IIP is 538 items, which is 100%. Individual items are A plus B plus C, which is equal to 538. The A is manufacturing, which weighs about 79.36% in total industrial output. B is mining and quarrying, which weighs about 10.47%, and the C is electricity, which weighs about 10.17%. To measure IIP based on usage per sector categories, following classification is referred with corresponding weightages. Total industrial output IIP is 538 items, which is 100%. Individual items are A plus B plus C plus D, which is equal to 538 items. The A, basic goods, which weighs about 35.57% in total industrial output. B, capital goods, which weighs about 9.26%. C, intermediate goods, weighs about 26.51%. And the D, consumer goods, which weighs about 28.66%, and it can be further classified into subcategories: consumer durables and consumer non-durables with their respective weightages as 5.36% and 23.30%. Now let's learn each category with little details. Basic good. Basic goods are the materials which are important and of key nature to the industry, on which the manufacturing process is based, vis-a-vis metal for machine, leather for shoe, textile for clothes. Such material is not lost through the process of production, but only changes its forms. Capital good. Individuals, organizations, and governments use capital goods in the production of other goods or commodities. Capital goods include factories, machinery, tools, equipment, and various buildings which are used to produce other products for consumption. Capital goods, then, are products which are not produced for immediate consumption. Rather, they are objects that are used to produce other goods and services. Dump trucks, however, are usually considered capital goods because they are used by construction and manufacturing companies to haul various materials in order to make other products such as roads, bridges, dams, and buildings. Similarly, a chocolate candy bar is a consumer good, but the machines used to produce the chocolate candy bar are considered capital goods. Intermediate good. Intermediate goods or producer goods are goods used as inputs in the production of other goods, such as partly finished goods. Also, they are goods used in production of final goods. A firm may make them use intermediate goods or make them sell or buy, then use them. In the production process, intermediate goods either become part of the final product or are changed beyond recognition in the process. Intermediate product is a product which is obtained during a manufacturing process which may or may not be saleable and is not the intended final product. Examples are steel, a raw material used in the production of many other goods such as bicycles. Car engines. Some firms make and use their own. Others buy them from other producers as an intermediate good, then use them in their own car. Paint, plywood, pipe and tube, ancillary parts, etc. Consumer goods. The goods used by the consumer to fulfill their needs. It is further subdivided into two categories based on the usage period: consumer durables and consumer non-durables. Consumer durables. In economics, a durable good or a hard good is a good that does not quickly wear out, or more specifically, one that yields utility over time rather than being completely consumed in one use. Items like bricks or jewelry could be considered perfectly durable goods because they should theoretically never wear out. Highly durable goods such as refrigerators, cars, or mobile phones usually continue to be useful for 3 or more years of use, so durable goods are typically characterized by long periods between successive purchases. Examples of consumer durable goods include household goods, that is, home appliances, consumer electronics, furniture, etc., sports equipment, and toys. Consumer non-durables. Non-durable goods or soft goods, that is, consumables, are the opposite of durable goods. They may be defined either as goods that are immediately consumed in one use or ones that have a lifespan of less than 3 years. Examples of non-durable goods include fast-moving consumer goods such as cosmetics, cleaning products, food, fuel, office supplies, packaging and containers, paper and paper products, personal products, rubber, plastics, textiles, clothing, and footwear. Let's have a look at the recent trends. First, trends from industry point of view. The recovery was broad-based with high growth in manufacturing industries, that is 10.9%, followed by mining 9.9% and electricity 6%. The manufacturing output growth rate was supported by increases in consumer durables, capital goods, and intermediate goods production. The strong performance of the manufacturing sector during the second half of 2009-2010 could partly be attributed to the base effect. Despite the large increase in the production of natural gas, iron ore, and other minerals, growth in the mining sector remained at less than 10% due to continued slack in crude oil and coal output. The electricity sector also lagged behind, owing to lower hydel power generation in view of weak monsoon conditions and the low level of reservoir capacity. Similarly, inadequate coal production and delayed imports adversely affected the coal availability, leading to lower thermal generation. Trends from usage point of view. The pace of recovery in industrial production during 2009-2010 is evident from the fact that the IIP almost reached the level which would have been achieved had the high growth phase of 2006-2007 not been interrupted in the subsequent 2 years on account of the global crisis. While the output of consumer durables, that is 26.2%, and capital goods industries, that is 19.2%, gained strength during 2009-2010, recovery in the growth of non-durables, that is 1.3%, was held back due to sluggishness in private consumption demand. The growth in the capital goods segment was aided by the rapid rise in output of several industries like broad gauge covered wagons, commercial vehicles, printing machinery, and air and gas compressors. This can be attributed to the higher allocation for the infrastructure sector by the government, thereby facilitating crowding in of private investment in machinery and construction sectors and contributing to higher gross fixed capital formation in the economy. The growth of basic goods industries, that is 7.2%, supported the recovery momentum, despite some concerns that it may be difficult to sustain the growth in the wake of capacity constraints in some industries. The recovery in the intermediate goods segment, that is 13.6%, was initially driven by the turnaround in inventory cycle, followed by a strong recovery in investment demand. Weak external demand notwithstanding, the pickup in exports and moderation in government expenditure on account of the fiscal exit could moderate industrial growth. Revival in private consumption demand, therefore, would be critical for sustaining the recent performance of the industrial sector. Improvement in the southwest monsoon performance during June-July 2010, better agricultural production prospects, change in income tax slabs in 2010-2011, and the permanent effect of the implementation of the 6th Pay Commission recommendations on income should be supportive of consumption demand.